Hey, welcome to Jazz After Dark, everybody. How you doing? It is a special after hurricane edition. If you're watching this, we probably posted it later because we're out of the office, but hurricane just came through last night. Actually, like wind and rain wise, it was good, but the one that came before that, Helene, that one did some damage as far as in my area. But this Milton one, yeah, all out of power and stuff. Our building has power, but not a big deal. Hey, if you're gonna hang with me, Jazz After Dark here tonight. This is what we do. We just chill. I just talk to the camera until I'm done talking. I've got some things to talk about tonight with you. I'm gonna answer some questions that I thought were really good questions, and of course, I'll teach you and share my response. But Calumet, Kentucky bourbon is what we're trying here tonight. I don't remember. I didn't buy this. I don't remember where I got this from. Someone gave it to me, and we were enjoying it sitting in the little social room here at the condo that I moved into. So all is good. You ready? You want to do this? Here we go. Just got a couple questions. I just thought they were really good questions. Sometimes you get, beginner questions, and that's okay. I'm happy to help with those. But I thought these were some good ones. Here we go. Maybe Cody will put them up on the screen if I send them to him. The question was from Beth, by the way. This is a client, right? So don't just start sending me your questions. You know what I mean? I got time to answer all your questions. But Beth asked this question. She's a client. She said, I got this Roth 401k. Can I roll over a Roth 401k to an existing Roth IRA, or do I need it to be in its own separate account? And the reason I'm asking, because when does the 5-year holding period begin for the Roth 401k rollover? I thought that was a good question. Now we're mixing some terms in there, and maybe a little bit, Beth was a little confused. But basically the question is, can the old Roth 401k go into a Roth IRA that I already have? And if the answer is yes, then what's the 5-year rule there, considering the Roth IRA was already open? Well, so my answer to Beth was, yes, you can move a Roth 401k into an existing Roth IRA. It doesn't have to be separate. It can be if you want to, but it doesn't have to. And I can't think of many good reasons why you'd want to start a new clock on a new Roth IRA. Actually, that wouldn't apply. So never mind. I don't know why you would want to keep it separate unless like you were married and you knew you were going to just get divorced and give it to your spouse or something. You didn't want to deal with it. That's not my business. But the dollars don't have to be kept separate. You know what I mean? Now, where's my answer? Oh, so then that solves the first part. So then the 5-year window, the 5-year, what they call holding period for distributions and of your earnings, right? It doesn't actually do anything here. So a Roth 401k goes into an existing Roth IRA that has a clock established with it. So that clock is what you're going to follow. Your contributions are a different story. Remember that in a Roth IRA, right, dollars that you've put in are not subject to the 5-year rule. Well, the earnings are subject to the 5-year rule if that's going to be the case here. So we don't start any new clocks by you saying I did a rollover. If we had done a conversion, that's a different story. It's not what she's asking about here. But I thought that'd be an interesting question to point out because, you can tell how she kind of doesn't quite know. She's a little bit unsure how to ask the question, but I know where she's going with this, so I was able to get the answer to her. What do you think? Okay. Okay, here's a common one, actually. I get this one a lot, and I would love to just make this its own separate video and just put this out there. But clients will often call and say, hey, I've already done a 60-day rollover, meaning they took money out of a 401k and they put it into an IRA, where they took money out of their IRA, this is important, and then they went to go put it back into their IRA or a different IRA or SEP IRA or whatever. And so the question here from Vic is, I've already done a 60-day rollover from a qualified plan to my IRA within the last 12 months. Very clever how he says qualified plan, because I'm not entirely sure what we're talking about just yet. Meaning, could it be a 401k, a TSP, an IRA, a SEP, a simple? It could be anything here. Well, Vic says, I've already done one of those. And now I'd like to do another one. But when I talk to the custodian, who in this case is Fidelity, they're saying, oh, you're only allowed to do one of those per year, right? Are they right? Are they wrong? Can you help me? Well, okay, so here's how this goes. A 60-day rollover, that rule where you can do one of those in a year, only applies from an IRA to an IRA. Okay, so let's think about this. If you go to jazzwealth.com, you decide, hey, I'm going to work with Jazz Wealth. I'm going to open an account. I'm going to roll over a part of my 401k just to test them out, just a small amount to see how they do. It's a real scenario. And time passes, and then you go, well, I'd like to roll over some more, and then some more, and some more, or whatever you do. That is totally acceptable. You can do as many rollovers, like piece by piece, from a 401k to an IRA, whether it's 1, 2, or 10 in a 365-day window. The issue that we have here is when people say, I'm going to do a 60-day rollover from a SEP IRA to a traditional IRA to a SEP IRA. You're consolidating or something like that, right? Maybe that's a bad example, but that's what we're talking about. So in this case, Vic, now he said qualified plan. So I had to respond back and go, please tell me what that account is, right? I can't accept qualified plan. I need to know, is it a 401k plan or is it an IRA? So anyways, good news there is, yeah, you can certainly do that. Why would that be important, by the way? I'm going to go off on this like side topic here. Why would it be important to know that you can roll pieces of 401k money into an IRA and or roll IRA money back into a 401k and know that you could do that more than one time a year? Because if you do, let's say you take your IRA money and you move it into a 401k, then you change your mind and you think you're not allowed to move it back. Why would that be really important? Think about the geekiness there for a second. Could we play a trick on old Uncle Sam here? Let's pretend for a moment that you have a traditional IRA with $100,000 in it. And then you have this Roth IRA, has nothing in it, right? And you go, hey, I make too much money. I would like to do a backdoor IRA contribution to my Roth, backdoor Roth, right? Well, the government doesn't see it that way. The government goes, well, you already have $100,000. If you deposit $7,000 or $8,000 in your case into the traditional IRA, and then you try to move just that $7,000 to the Roth, oh no, right? We're going to say it's a pro rata transaction, meaning you had 100 there, you put in 7. So if you move 7 over, only 7% of it is going to be tax free or not taxable, right? The rest of that, we're going to pretend that the 93% of that money was IRA money, and you didn't pay us taxes on that. So we're going to ask you to pay tax on that as well. Meanwhile, you think you're moving post-tax dollars. So what's the workaround there? It's legal, but it's a little shady. You take the $100,000 that's in the IRA and you roll it into your 401k. What's the balance of your 401k at the end of the year? Your IRA? 0. I have no money in there. Okay, well, now you start to work towards that backdoor Roth IRA. You put the money in there, right? And then move 100% of it is post-tax dollars. You characterize it that way. And so that's why it's important to know that these are eligible rules that you can follow. The 60-day rollover does not apply when we're talking to rolling over a piece of a TSP to an IRA, a piece of a 403B to an IRA. Your custodian that holds the 401k or 403B, they may limit how many because they just don't want to put up with your nonsense, right? But there's no actual law that says that. Okay. And then the last question here. Now, this is super important because the year matters. We could do a ton of questions on this, but sadly, it's a sad thing to talk about. Rick says, my father, right? Now, as an advisor, I'm watching for dates. I'm watching for names. Who is this person? Were they really your father? Like, I need to know this stuff because the laws on inherited IRAs and 401ks and stuff, it's just such a mess right now. Anyways, he says, my father passed away in March of 2018, and I inherited his 401k. I rolled over the 401k to an inherited IRA. Because he died in 2018, is it my belief that I need to liquidate this entire account by 2028? In other words, he's asking, does the 10-year rule really apply to me? And should I be getting to work making sure this thing is empty? Well, Rick, you missed it by 1 year, or you beat it by 1 year, I should say. So because your father passed in 2018, you are not subject to the 10-year rule. In fact, this should have been pointed out to you when you did the rollover. You are allowed to use the lifetime table. That used to be a thing, kids. Kids, we used to be able to do what's called the single life expectancy. You inherited an IRA, and for the rest of your life, whatever your life expectancy was, the IRS tax tables, morbidity tables, you were allowed to follow that. Oh, not so much. In 2019 now, if he would have inherited that account then, and I would actually want to, well, he said March of 2018. Now we have what's called the 10-year stretch. It's a stupid rule. So anyways, he would have the 10-year window. And in Rick's case, 2018 just made it, I don't want to say it that way because his dad died, but just made that window where, he could just do the RMD for the rest of his single life expectancy. Like I said, I get a ton of questions on these where it'd be somebody who, had a younger deceased spouse who was not currently taking RMDs because they weren't technically of age to take RMDs. But does the spouse that inherited the account have to start taking RMDs? And is it the 10-year rule because they're a spouse? Like, what's happening there? There are so many little things there. For me, it's fascinating. I like kind of reading through it. But anyways, it could be a little bit of a mess. Well, I hope that helped. Just kind of chatting here, going through some different things. I'm just killing time myself. Everybody else around town has no power. I don't know how I got so lucky. So in my condo, you can kind of like see out. And I was literally watching blue transformer just exploding. And then another one. I filmed one of it on my personal Facebook page. If you want to see it, look me up on Facebook. And I literally caught them. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody else is out. We got to be next. Nothing. Just had power, cool air condition, good music, internet. Like this is where I'm currently here in that place. And I got lucky. I got really lucky on this one. So I'm thankful. My response is, well, hey, this hurricane didn't cost me anything. I need to pretend like it did cost me something, go help people, buy some stuff for people and do all of that. So I'll be working on that there just a little bit. But other than that, we are caught up and ready to go. Thank you for watching and supporting. And we'll see you on the next Jazz After Dark. Adios.